Hollywood stars weren't always on the big screen. Many served in World War II. From combat missions to secret intelligence, these legends lived real-life stories of courage you've never heard. Let's dive in. Clark Gable flew as an aerial gunner in Europe, filming real combat footage under enemy fire for the Army Air Forces. Tony Curtis served aboard a submarine tender in the Pacific, supporting critical underwater operations. Audie Murphy, America's most decorated World War II soldier, serving in brutal European combat before turning to Hollywood. Alec Guinness commanded Royal Navy landing craft, taking troops to the beaches on D-Day. David Niven served as a British Army officer, returning from Hollywood to fight, later landing with Allied forces in Normandy. Audrey Hepburn aided the resistance with secret performances, message delivery, and sheltering Allied troops in Nazi-occupied Holland. Kirk Douglas served as a Navy communications officer in World War II, discharged after a depth charge injury, but always proud of his service. Lee Marvin fought as a Marine at Saipan, where machine gun fire wounded him and earned him a Purple Heart. Ernest Borgnine spent a decade in the Navy as a gunner's mate, seeing action on destroyers across the Pacific. Dick Van Dyke performed comedy, music, and radio for troops, launching his entertainment career. Jack Lemmon served as a young Navy ensign on an aircraft carrier near the war's end, shaping the discipline that carried into Hollywood. Henry Fonda served as a Navy quartermaster in the Pacific, earning a Bronze Star for his wartime duty. Charlton Heston manned radios and guns on B-25 bombers in the Aleutian Islands, guarding a cold Pacific front. Christopher Lee flew with the RAF and later worked in Special Ops Intelligence, serving across Europe and North Africa. Jimmy Stewart served as a bomber pilot in the Army Air Forces, flying combat missions over Europe before rising to Brigadier General. Josephine Baker used her celebrity to gather intelligence and smuggle secrets for the French resistance. Robert Cummings flew search and rescue and courier missions stateside using his own planes during World War II. William Holden served in PR, appearing in training films like Reconnaissance Pilot during World War II. Burt Lancaster entertained troops in Italy with USO shows during World War II before launching his Hollywood career. Glenn Ford made training films and aided refugees before an ulcer discharge. Later served in the Naval Reserve. Gene Kelly created military documentaries and morale programs at the Naval Photographic Center. Rock Hudson served in the Philippines maintaining naval aircraft during World War II. Paul Newman flew as a radioman and gunner on torpedo bombers, taking part in carrier missions at Okinawa. Mickey Rooney boosted morale on front lines with Jeep shows, earning a Bronze Star medal. Tyrone Power flew transport and evacuation missions at Iwo Jima and Okinawa, earning campaign honors. Mel Brooks cleared landmines in Europe as an Army combat engineer, laying the groundwork for Allied advances. Art Carney, wounded in the Battle of St. Lo, received a Purple Heart before discharge. Douglas Fairbanks, Jr., led naval deception units, earning the Silver Star and Legion of Merit for valor. Johnny Carson served as a Navy communications officer in World War II before becoming a TV legend. Tony Bennett served as an infantryman, helped liberate part of the Dachau network in Germany, calling his time in the war a nightmare that's permanent. George C. Scott served as a Marine at Arlington National Cemetery after World War II, later famed for portraying General Patton. Sammy Davis, Jr. faced racism in the ranks, but used his talent to entertain troops and earn respect. Charles Bronson was a B-29 tail gunner over Japan, braving some of the war's deadliest skies. Robert Mitchum, drafted during World War II, discharged after 8 months due to family status, earning the World War II Victory Medal. Bob Barker trained as a naval aviator and earned his wings, but the war ended before he saw combat. Don Rickles served in the Pacific Theater aboard the USS Siren and USS PC-1264 during World War II. James Garner served at the end of World War II, later joining the National Guard and fighting in Korea. Betty White volunteered driving supply trucks to military posts in the Hollywood area during World War II. Jonathan Winters enlisted at 17, serving 2.5 years in the Pacific Theater. Norman Lear flew 52 combat missions over Europe aboard B-17 bombers and earned the Air Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters. Jason Robards survived the sinking of the USS Northampton and a kamikaze attack aboard the USS Nashville. Jack Palance sustained injuries in a B-24 crash that led to reconstructive surgery and his rugged look. Don Knotts performed as a ventriloquist and entertainer for troops throughout World War II. B. Arthur served as a typist, then worked as a truck driver and dispatcher, rising to staff sergeant before her discharge. George Kennedy fought under Patton in the Battle of the Bulge, earning 2 Bronze Stars. These actors proved heroism isn't just for the movies. Which story shocked you the most? Drop a comment, like, and subscribe for more unbelievable Hollywood history.